Hi, welcome in. This is Michael with Viral Funding Solutions. In this video, I want to go through how to apply for the Employee Retention Credit update in 2023 and beyond, fast and for free, no hidden costs, getting up to $26,000 per employee. And what you see here on the screen, we are going to jump into right away. I'll leave down below in the description for you. You might come across this first to begin with or directly to the link. But this is another video that I created that walks you through the application process, more or less somewhat the same. And then underneath that, you can see calculate my refund, see how much you can qualify for in less than minutes. Underneath there, PS, want to see a text version, perhaps I'll have a clickable link that opens up in a new window. And if not like that, or it's changed over time, you'll know so. What is the ERC? First of all, it's an Employee Retention Credit, ERC or ERTC for short. It's a refundable payroll tax credit, not a loan, designed to reward many businesses up to $26,000 per employee for retaining their employees during COVID-19. The credit was initially signed into law March 2020 as part of the CARES Act. The credit was then later expanded upon within the Consolidated Appropriations Act in December of 2020 and the American Rescue Plan Act in June of 2021. And I'll get into some of the eligibilities in case you didn't know, and I'll leave this document, or I should say this page, down below if so, and you can learn more about it, how it works, down below, about us. And very quickly, before I do any of that, let me switch gears here. It is dark at this time that I'm making this video, in case you are wondering. I just took a little bit of time away here at night. I have quite a few things to get done with tomorrow, so I wanted to make sure I created this video for you, and the replay will be on in case you're watching on live. This is spontaneous, by the way. I'm streaming here on StreamYard. And so right now, in a second, I'm going to flip over screens and we're going to go through the application process A to Z. I'm going to walk you through it, the expectations, how to get through it for free, hassle-free, of course, simply to go through, and a few other steps. So let me transition here. So about us with Viral Funding Solutions, we've helped out tens upon thousands get the ERC credit through our exclusive partnerships through expert payroll management experts that have been vetted and the best to do what they do as your go-to destination for ERC, as well as safe and secure small business capital, fast and simple. So I also help people obtain alternative financing, SBA loans, bank term loans, lines of credit, online. You have the collateral-based, revenue-based, personal funding, startup, non-startups. I'm an expert at what I do. And we funded all types of companies and continue to share our best step secrets to getting funding you can build, grow, expand, and even get a tight pinch with. When the banks say no to you, we say yes. Or if you don't get as much of an approval and there needs to be an adjustment, do we go through them again, or are there alternatives? It's your money. Go ahead and claim it before it's too late. The ERC credit is projected to be around until 2024 of April 15th, if not by 2025 of April 15th, depending on the 2020 and 2021 eligible quarters. But it can literally be closed at like any time. And once it gets closed, there's no indication of if it will open up again. Look what's happened with the SBA EIDL funding, the PPP, the 10K grant, other grant opportunities that come and they go. Perhaps you can't get funding through revenue-based, collateral-based. This is your time right now to put this credit to use back into your business and not be that person wondering what if, rather the person who says, hey, I did it. Instead of spending time on a couch, flipping through the television, doing something more productive, you could have said, oh, I could have taken advantage of that. And a little bit about myself, I'm going to just quickly go through this. I started like a majority of people do in a 9-to-5 role. So let me move this over. I know it's quite dark. Again, I wanted to make this video and make sure you have it in your hands because I do have quite a busy schedule at the end of this week now. And so like every person who was in a 9-to-5 role, I've been there. And in my younger 20s, I went to school. I educated myself. I was a Division I soccer player, went to school for sociology as well. And then I started using my math side of my brain a lot more. And that's a subject that I'm very strong in. And so I got into the calculuses, the descriptive statistics, inferential statistics. And then that led me down the route as well with chemistry. Chemistry is my favorite class. Got into chemical engineering, did that for a little bit. And then I transitioned into the whole business administration as I wanted to start a business eventually. And I felt like that was the best path. I worked in construction, manufacturing, and not the actual cubicle. I was actually in the field working the machines in warehousing back then and doing ramp engine work, yes, and a few other ventures. And that was in my younger 20s, eventually in a financial logistics position. And I found out the company was going to go down under and 50 plus people got removed. And I was contracting with one of the biggest contracting companies servicing HP and Peace Health. And unfortunately, it happened. I had to go back on unemployment, benefits, food stamp cards, and it was very embarrassing. An introvert in me and going and purchasing groceries with the card again and filling out those forms. And yeah, I could have done something else, but I knew it was time to start something. And that's where I got into a digital marketing agency, lead generation, affiliate marketing in the health space, a few other ventures. And then eventually I became an expert business loan broker, learning what I did, applying funding to those businesses and so forth. So you can learn a little bit more right there going through the struggles. I want to make sure you have everything in hand and the best. And so here it is, just some of the qualifications process. I want to spend time on the application, so I'll quickly go through this. And I've made other video content on the actual qualifications, and in this video should explain that more or less, but you can see this page if it's there. If you had a reduction in revenue, but we'll go through this in a second. Let's actually flip over to the actual application. Give me one moment. I'll show you the link here to begin with. Again, this information for you will be down below in the description, but let's go ahead and go through it. As you see here, this is through ERC Specialist, very reputable. I've helped out plenty of business owners get the employee retention credit and go through their process. And this somewhat shortened up A to Z application process, which it'll be likely the most of it. It's not shortened. The other video was a lot longer that you saw on that page before. I'm going to try to keep this one shorter and try to go through it as quickly as possible. But you can learn more about what the ERC is there, why ERC specialist, ERC qualifications, about up to $26,000 per employee, available for 2020 Q1 through Q3. And then 2021, you see there, qualify with decreased revenue or COVID events. No limit on funding. ERC is not a loan or a grant. It's a refundable tax credit. You can learn more. Over 50,000 businesses have been served. Over 600,000 employees claimed the credit. Credits recovered in all 50 states. As you see there, customer testimonials. Why ERC specialist? You can go to your CPA, but they won't maximize the amount of credit going through all the payroll documentation. And they might just tell you a little bit. I don't want to have to deal with all that. Professional support, expert payroll management experts that I'm connected with and that you'll be able to get help with as well. And so we can go to find out if you qualify. There's certain other links you can explore on this page too, but let's quickly start the application process. And so here it looks a bit different than what it might look like on the other video that I made, but more or less it's similar. You go through a set of questions and you'll want to set a little bit of time. You can literally finish this in minutes, apply for the ERC credits, there, start a new application. You can pick up where you left off in case you didn't finish or you're in the process of uploading documents and you just finish your application or you need to restart it. You can go through that again and then check the status of your application. And they need help, get support. Did you know we helped out over 33,000 companies claim the employee retention credit? So let me click this one, starting a new application. And I'm going to do this in a test format. So I can come down here. I'm just testing, but you wouldn't do that, of course. You would go through this. I'm in test mode at the moment. But here, how much can I get from the ERC? And you can have this little play button that comes up and it says who is eligible for the ERC. In case you didn't come across my other page or don't know the exact qualifications and so forth, you can learn a little bit more there by clicking that play button. Down here, we have company name. I'm just going to quickly just put some quick details in. Just some auto-populated. It's just a test run. I could really have put like that there, just anything that I wanted, but just going to leave it as it is. And here, you're going to want to put your estimate your potential employee retention credit amount. This is for estimate purposes only. The actual credit is based off of the document submitted. Potential ERC amount is based off the average count qualifying for all 6 quarters of the ERC program. Average full-time W-2 employee count in 2020. So I can state here, let's say 21 there. In 2021, you'll want to state it's based on W-2 employees, in case you guys were wondering. That's what we're looking for, not just yourself and you're claiming the credit and you're paying W-2 qualified wages employees on this. I've heard W-9s. I've heard about this situation and that situation. You have W-2 employees, and there's another one like 50% or 20% reducing gross receipts. We'll go into that in a moment. But you see here, let's just say, for example, somewhat the same. You will put the exact amount that you have, potential ERC amount, $326,000.550 in the form of a credit. This is an estimate only based on the employee counts entered and does not represent a guarantee of the credit amount you will receive or that you will qualify for the program. But we can make a readjustment and be very fair. And I've seen across all boards that this works extremely well. And so here, by checking this box and clicking the Let's Get Started Below button, you consent for ERC specialists to use automated technology, including calls, texts, and preceding messages to contact you and the number and email provided about the business-related offers. And so if I didn't say this already, let me open this up quickly in another tab. I won't switch over screens, but let me quickly give you about the 3 steps that it takes to go through this. And I have this already on my mind. I just wanted to Make sure I didn't miss a beat. So in 3 fast, simple steps, step 1, you enter your information. Step 2, you'll file online in minutes. And then step 3, you receive your check. You can figure out how much you can get as we're going through here. You'll file online in minutes with a streamlined process that's not complex, that takes all the guesswork out of that. So you can upload payroll and tax documents needed to get the highest amount back possible. And then step 3, you receive your check. The U.S. Treasury will receive and process your claim and then issue your refund so you can push forward with more confidence and certainty. Now, that's what I'm seeing here. Now, let me come back to the screen. Let's go ahead and check that box. Let's get started. How it works. So here, you're going to want to read through this and what the ERC entails. And then you'll be able to answer some questions here. You see 1 through 4. Answer the questions in the qualifying survey. We'll let you know if you qualify. If you do, upload tax and payroll documentation. Step 4, our team will process and file your return. So what it could do from step 1 to step 4, step 1 through step 6, from what I have and what I'm able to track and then see as well, if necessary, the application getting completed, the documents being uploaded, and then the processing part where this is all being reviewed and looked through. And then we're doing that for somewhere around 2 to 3 weeks it can take. And that's very normal and standard. And then it goes through a review where you can go ahead and review and then sign. And then after that point it's completed, then we can file with the IRS in 1 to 2 weeks. And then awaiting your IRS payment can take somewhere around 16 weeks. I've seen 4 to 6 months, 4 to 8 weeks, somewhere around there. And the fee, it's very reasonable. I'll get into that here momentarily. And it's one of the best and most effective applications and processes you'll go through. And so here, please have the following information ready. And this is what I tell a lot of business owners to try to have on hand as well. And so average number of full-time employees for 2019. Everything is being reflected back to 2019. This is someone that works 30 plus hours per week. Gross receipts for each quarter of 2019, 2020, and 2021. Total deposits / sales, that does not include PPP funds. We also don't want to double dip. And if you already filed some things, we might need 941Xs, or if you already have those, or what we need to look at. But I'll go through what you need to upload. Info on how government shutdowns impacted your business. An example would be if your vendors experience shutdowns and you couldn't obtain critical goods. Please do not guess, estimates, or embellish. ERC specialist uses your answers to determine which quarters to file on your behalf. Once submitted, your responses cannot be changed. You can start the process over again, but be very cautious. Make sure you go through it the first time correctly, and don't beat around the bush, please. Be very energy and time efficient. If you're getting started, finish. And I don't mean to say that as in, oh, he's that. I'm not like that. I'm a very nice person. And I give people the benefit of the doubt. I grew up right, and I'm humble, and I respect people very well, very respectful. And I know it's dark at this time and you're wondering what. Well, I've been quite busy and I wanted to make sure this video got out to you. And we're also looking at the share screen here. I know other content isn't dark like this one is. Perhaps from time to time there is. But here you see, continue. Okay. Saving. Did you pay any W-2 wages in 2020? And so what you're seeing too is, since things have changed and ended and stuff like that, you're filing retroactively. So just keep that in mind. You can retroactively apply. And so back to this, did you pay any W-2 wages in 2020 or 2021? And there's a play button there. You can learn more. And I won't play that now, but you can see that. The ERC credit is calculated as a percentage of W-2 wages paid. 1099 wages do not qualify. I get that question asked a lot. Note the wages of majority owners over 50% and their immediate relatives, even if paid W-2, do not qualify for the ERC program. Wages for all other W-2 employees will still qualify. So you can say here, did you pay any W-2? Yes. If you wouldn't, then it really wouldn't qualify you. List the majority owners and relatives. So majority owners, you usually see 51% and over. And so what is asked for, if there are multiple parties in ownership, you're going to want to list those. And they're going to also want to know the first and last names of all majority owners is one part, and their family members contained in payroll experts, who's getting paid on this and that. It's very important that we keep track of all of it. And I know how that sounds. Please keep in mind that constructive ownership rules apply. Example, two brothers own a business that's 50-50 split. Because they are related, the constructive ownership rule applies and they are both considered majority owners. Either enter none if this does not apply. So let's just put none and see the result to this. So we can go through there, but you would list what you need to. Are you a federal, state, or local entity? The federal government, the governments of any state political subdivision thereof, and any agency or instrumentally of those governments are not eligible employers and are not entitled to receive the employee retention credit. However, tribal governments and tribal entities may be eligible. You can read more there. And normally it's going to exclude or include. And so this one, we're going to go select no on that. That doesn't apply. And if usually a lot of the times when you put yes on something like that, it can disqualify. And so when did you start your business? A recovery startup business is an employer that began carrying on trade or business on or after February 16th of 2020. Therefore, the determination of when an employer began carrying on trade or business is made in the same manner as found in the purposes of Section 162. In general, for purposes of Section 162, a taxpayer has not begun carrying on a trade or business until such time as the business has begun to function as going concern and perform those activities for which it was organized. So you can say either one, whichever applies to you. You'll say before February 16th and click there. And then full-time employees will go through this section. It's classified. It tells you that we saw it earlier about the 30 hours plus per week, and then the 130 hours per month in 2019. Remember, this question is based on the average amount of employees. The IRS allows you to use the full-time employee count in 2020 if you were not in business of 2019, because everything is being looked and compared to that. Did you start business in 2019 or 2020? Important. You'll want to read this through the aggregated large employer part and just a little bit more that I'm not going to cover because of time here, but you can read through these parts. It's not hard to understand. But how many full-time employers or employees, I should say, did you average? And my business averaged less than 100 full-time employees. We'll just say it did this, sometimes 500 or more. It's not the right answer, but you can see there as you read through this, you'll see that more if anything were to change. Businesses with over 100 but under 500 full-time employees in 2019 do not qualify for the ERC funds in 2020. And this one, the business owners with the majority of owner ABC company, which is average 50 full-time employees in 2019. And there's a little bit more there you can look at. Part-time employees wages do not qualify, I should say, for the ERC program. This question only requires full-time employee count to determine qualification. So we'll say it was underneath the 100. You can select the one that's right. ERC qualification options, and there's a video there you can pop up again and go through. Revenue reduction, supply disruption, full or partial shutdown, and this is what qualifies you on top of having W-2 employees. And so let's go through this. So the most straightforward way to qualify for it is from a qualified revenue reduction. That's what everybody turns to and what a CPA would normally classify as if you're eligible or not. But there's more to this equation than just that. And you want to go to the experts who know how to do this effectively. Revenue reduction qualifications, 2020, 50% reduction of gross sales for the 2020 quarters as compared to the same quarter in 2019. When/if the revenue reduction in 2020 gets back to 80% of the 2019 level, the qualification ends. 2021 is 20% reduction of gross sales for the 2021 quarter as compared to the same quarter in 2019 or 2020 if you were not in business during the quarter in 2019. The alternative look back option allows the business to use the previous quarter compared to the same 2019 quarter to qualify. So that's what it's looking back on. Did you experience any revenue reductions? We'll say yes for this example. Okay. Were your gross receipts total deposits for at least one quarter in 2020, less than 50% of your gross receipts for the same quarter of 2019. Example, quarter 3 of 2020 had less than 50% of gross receipts as compared to quarter 3 of 2019. We'll select yes for that one. In which 2020 quarters were you down 50% of gross compared to 2019? We'll say 2 and 3, for example. Quarter 1 2021 revenue qualifier. Which qualifications apply to your business? My quarter 2021 gross revenue was 20% lower than quarter 1 2019 or quarter 1 2020 if not in business in quarter 2019. You can say this does not apply to your business either, but you can select one of the two that applies to you. And then for the second part of this, gross revenue was 20% in lower than quarter 2 of 2019 or quarter 2. If this doesn't apply, you can select that, select the right one, and then you can go through this. We'll just kind of speed through this. Supply disruption is another thing that can have you be eligible for the credit. And I'm not going to read through all this, but you guys can look through it. More than a nominal impact, no replacement supplier. I know how all this stuff works, but you can read through this and what it has, what kind of nominal impact. But here, continue. Did you experience a supply chain issue? You could put yes, and if you were to, you would have to add some extra selective options. In which quarters of 2020 was it impacted, and then in 2021. But let's do it for the purpose of this, say no, for example. You didn't probably have that, or if you did, you were to go through it. Full or partial suspension. That's another thing, a government mandate, something that require you to partially, fully shut down. And it explains it to you here very well in depth. And you can see it all there, but I won't read through all of it. But inability to convert to telework, that's a huge one, more than nominal impact. And then up here, just important messaging. And down here, we can go to the next part. It's just introducing you to that part. There's the videos, of course, you can watch and go through on each of those. The cumulative effect of the full or partial suspensions must have had a more than 10% impact on your business operations, etc., etc. You can read through that. We'll say yes, there was a full or partial shutdown, and then you would do the type of suspension, reduction in hours, to all the way down to actual suspension. We'll say actual suspension. Describe that suspension, and then you have another suspension to claim. And then you can select from one of those options again, and then you'd be able to go through that. And then define in which quarters of 2020 and 2021, again, a common theme. But again, for this one, let's just go ahead and leave it at no, so we don't have to go through all that. And then congratulations, based on your answers, you qualify for the following quarters. Right here, then it would show you which quarters did you qualify for and so forth. And then you can go over here and then click continue. In 2020, how many W-2 employees did you average? And you have that here from that to move on in case that it was changed or anything happened that was different. But you can see based on those numbers that you were to play with, estimated 2020 credit goes up from 15 to 21. You see 60,000 there. Now you see 84,000. A big difference. And be accurate with this information. As I said in the beginning, we'll leave it as it is in 2021 or in 2020, excuse me. Nothing had changed. In 2021, similarly, you're seeing somewhere around the same, if accurate on numbers. Usually that's what it is for the most part. And then here you can click continue. Great news. Based on your answers, you qualify for the ERC program. Estimated credit amount, which is a huge amount. Look, $326,000 and above for that. What could that do for your business to put it back in? Payroll, you have all of the stuff that's happened with the PPP, the 10K grant, other opportunities like EIDL that have come and gone. You're not sure if they're coming back. And again, if you're just joining me, it is late into the night, but I wanted to get this video again done for you. And because I have quite a few things on my schedule that I wanted to finish towards the very end of this week now, and I won't have time to, but I wanted you guys to get a clear update of this. So let me go back into this. And this estimate is based on the responses and employee counts provided and is not a guarantee of your credit amount. As we went through earlier, important, please add, and this is what you'll want to do, add these emails to your email safe sender list, or you may not receive communication as your ERC credit is processed. For instructions, you can click here and it'll open up a new tab. And once you go through that, it'll have a different tab you guys can't see right now, but it has the email whitelist instructions, and you'll be able to do that from certain dates, and you'll see all of that in specific emails to go through, like Outlook and Gmail, Yahoo, Mac Mail, and so forth. So that'll open up a new tab so you can take a look at that, and then continue here, confirm your information. And if you have multiple companies, input and qualify for each company. We'll just select there, job title. I don't know, we're just going to quickly go through this. We could have done anything really. Address. We'll just select somewhat similar information. What industry are you in? We'll just select financing. And here we'll just put the optional email of the individuals that handles your payroll. You can put that. Of course, I'm just putting mine if I were to handle it myself. Or if you had a team, of course, that can do it for you. Who introduced you to the ERC specialist? And you can just say my name, first and last name, if that's not already populated. And sometimes you can get by without doing it. Sometimes it would be required. But you can just say, hey, his name is Michael, last name Granados, and then you could input that if necessary. By checking, you attest that the answers provided are accurate to the best of your knowledge and agree to the terms and the conditions you can view. By checking, you agree to the key documentation, on file that substantiates claims made in this application in the event of an audit from the IRS. Yes, very common and practical to have that information. You can always go back as well and put information that you didn't do correctly or so forth that needs to be adjusted. Thank you. Now it's time for payroll and tax documents. There's a little play video there. You can go ahead and watch from a lovely lady. And then it says there, we need to finish your ERC analyst. And so down here, it goes into uploading your documents within 24 hours. You want to do that so you can expedite your ERC analysis and return. I wouldn't wait. A lot of people do that I communicate with. I could tell you how many people are already in my process of getting their ERC credit, or I know of what they're submitting and so forth. I'm communicating with others. I'm still waiting for a few things on support. I have a few questions too that I need to get answered. And so just have your documents ready. and upload them within 24 hours. Yes, you can do it after, but I would do it as soon as you can. Read here, it says ERC is issued by the IRS and is subject to the IRS backlog. ERC refunds currently take 16 weeks minimum. This time frame will increase as more files are claimed. We strongly recommend uploading your required documents as soon as possible. And it can take already 16 weeks, 4 to 8 months or so to get this refund. And it's going to expire soon. So you do not want to put this on the back end. Don't be that person who says, I'm changing my mind, or what is there to change your mind about? This is free credit. And well, okay, what is the reasoning why? Is it because you have other obligations? Yeah, I got to attend to this and this, but I'll get to this back at this time and then. And commit to yourself to finishing it. Somebody who starts something and can't finish something, is that really somebody you can trust? Is that really somebody who you think is accountable and responsible? They may be. I'm not saying they aren't, but think about that for a second. You can check your status and upload documents by visiting this as well. There's a little site you can go to right there. And then we sent an email too, and then there is the information being sent out to you, whatever you put your email under, and then continue. Did you receive a PPP loan? Important information as well, so we're not double dipping and we're making sure what you already filed quarterly, etc. Yes, draw one and draw two, or the first one, none of it. We'll say draw one and draw two for this one, and then you would put your loan amount received, the date, how long did it take you to meet the forgiveness requirements. You could take 8 weeks or 24 weeks, put 8 weeks there. Loan 2, you'll do the same thing depending on the answers. But for this one, I could just put no there and then continue. Did you receive any government grants between March 13, 2020 and December 31, 2021? You can learn more about that. Research and development, WTC work opportunity tax credit, R&D, research and development, as I said, shuttered venue, restaurant revitalization, or other grant credits. Did you receive any government grants? If so, please input grant information. That will only be helpful to know about that. And then you can see that what it would be asking for. And for this purpose of time and so forth, we'll go ahead and select no. And again here, your payroll documents. This part is very, very important, if not the most. To complete your ERC analysis, we'll need detailed payroll information during the ERC program dates. You can select automatic or manual upload. And here, automatic upload will import your data directly from your payroll provider. And all you have to do is sign in. Recommended to accelerate your application. This is what a lot of people end up doing. And you can go ahead and go through that. Sometimes it isn't requested or added to, especially if you're doing a test format or somewhat similar. And then over here, you'll be able to manually upload it yourself. You can manually upload the required payroll data by clicking the link below. Detailed instructions for exporting data is provided. And here you see a secured email link has been sent with the secure upload link. If you would like to send the upload link to someone else to assist with the upload, please put their email below. A provider, somebody on your team, etc., somebody that can help as well aside from that. And so here you can click, I'll do it myself, for example. Important, correct documents must be uploaded to us accurately and efficiently claim your credits. Please ensure your uploads contains all of the information outlined below. Providing inaccurate or incomplete documentation will lead to a significant delay and or reduction of your credit amount. A detailed payroll report here we're going through outlines all payments, deductions, contributions, and taxes for each employee for each paycheck during your ERC eligibility period. We use this information to maximize the ERC funds we are able to claim. Include documents for 2020, which are the quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4, and 2021, which is quarter 1 through quarter 3. Your report must contain your employee name, check date, and then gross wages. Also make sure that your report includes terminated employees, if any, majority owners and relatives, similar to what we saw before in the application process. Do not include sensitive employee information such as social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, or bank account information. Don't include W-2 documents or pay stubs. That's not what's being asked on that. To maximize your credit, make sure your report includes terminated employees. You can see a sample payroll report. If you're using whatever it is you're using, QuickBooks or something similar, as we have a drop down here, QuickBooks Online, Desktop, Gusto is another one, Paychex, Run ADP, Patriot, Accounting CS, and other. You can then browse files by selecting there. That'll open that up and be able to drop in those files that are requested for those quarters and so forth. Those are the payroll documents and what is needed to be provided for that part. So we could do skip for now. You could do that, but What I recommend is making sure you upload them. You're already there, have it ready. Most business owners do. A lot of people don't file their 941s, etc. But make sure you have that information there. Skip now. It's okay to skip for now, but we'll need your payroll documents before you file. An email was sent to you you can come back and upload your payroll documents when you're ready. Please do so in the next 24 hours, as I said earlier, and that's what's best to do. Upload 941, 943, 944 tax forms. So this is where that part comes in. So correct documentation. To assist in this, we need the federal forms filed from your payroll. Please upload the applicable federal forms for 2020 quarter 2 through quarter 4 of 2020 and 2021 quarter 1 through quarter 3. Please also include any 941X amended forms filed during this period. If you took the W-2C, the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, or the R&D credit, please also upload this information. So you can see the sample 941 form, and I'm sure you're familiar with it since you're doing payroll. This is what it would look like. And down here, you would browse through files and make sure you upload those correctly in that part. Sometimes people don't have the 941s, but they have the 943s or the 944s, specifically if you're also for another one doing agriculture and seasonal employees, etc. But there's a little play button there where you can learn more information on this. And then down here, I'm just going to click on skip now, but you would complete it. I'm skipping it for the purposes of this video, and I'll show you all my stuff there. But verify company information. Please ensure this information is accurate. We will use the legal company name of the 941 form when filing your ERC claim with the IRS. Company name, as I just put there. And then we could just quickly glance at this. Actually, we're going to put this here. No, okay, we'll just leave it as it is. And then go ahead and click continue and authorize signer information. And please ensure that this information is accurate. And you'll want to make sure you have this information there. And phone number, PO, whatever you wanted to place in there, however it needed to be put. Just put that. I know we put something else earlier that was different. But here, almost there. Let's review your application before submitting. Final review. And then look, it shows you submitted the application. Questions have been completed, but you have not completed this yet. You will have something different usually unless you submitted just the application, which I get a lot of. But make sure you have everything submitted right away. You can go back into uploading those documents, submit for processing, and you're good to go. So we can't go to the next part until all of that is then rather submitted, because you just have completed the application. You would still need to submit the rest of it. So that will conclude everything in this video. There's probably a little bit more, and then these applications tend to change from time to time. The other video that you may go on to the page that I showed you before, it's somewhat similar with an adjusted few things, but it's expected to be somewhat similar to what you just saw here. And so that'll conclude everything in this video, making sure you have the payroll and tax documents that are required, that will be asked of you. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything with the 941 forms. I covered that, the purposes of them somewhat, and then you can retroactively apply. And so, yeah, that's where I'll leave you with this. And if there's anything more that then needs to be requested from you as time goes on and you're missing documents, I can communicate that with you, as well as my team, and get in contact with you and help you out on that and a few other things as well. So again, this is expiring soon. Make sure to get in as fast as you can. Down below in the description will be that link to get started with this. But I'll also leave the page you saw in the beginning that'll take you there to that A to Z application, somewhat different than the one you're seeing now, but similar processes, and you'll be able to go through it effectively. And if this video is then substituted with the other one, you'll see that. But okay, that'll be everything from me. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And I think that'll be everything. This guy has to go, relax a bit, and get ready for the day tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you did find value from it, please give it a thumbs up. Share with others who you feel will find value from it. It can be a complete stranger, a friend, or a family member. And if you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. And click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future content I will be coming out with. That is all for now. Take care and good night.